Thanks for tuning in to Beneath the Beat. Without further ado, here is part 2 of our interview with Ben Schuller. First off, you have a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you very
beautiful
much.
voice. So did you at CMU, did you actually study voice?
Yeah. I was a voice minor.
Okay. That's what I thought. And I wanted to ask you because you don't necessarily sound like a classical singer.
No. I was really lucky to I knew I didn't want to do classical. That was the whole point when they put me with the music theater studio because they were
Oh,
like,
okay.
okay, Ben's like clearly his own pop thing. And she was great. Shout out Elizabeth Stoner. Yeah, no, she was amazing. Like she realized what I wanted to do. She wasn't going to try to force me to be something else. Like I obviously had to sing a couple, classical pieces and theater pieces for the studio and everything. But like in every voice lesson was essentially teaching me things that I could go on to use in my pop singing. And I owe her a ton of like credit for just like I mean, Andy, you remember how I sounded back in the day with singing my pop punk stuff. It's like I listen to those songs now and it's like I can't believe I sang like that. Like, and it's not necessarily that like the style, it was just like the way that I was singing. Like if I sang those same songs now, even in a punk style, they would just be so much better sounding. I don't have any other way to say it, but so as much as like I would never say you need to go to school or anything to become successful in the music industry. For me personally, it was a huge plus to be able to study voice with someone who understood my voice and didn't try to fit me into the box they wanted me to. Yeah, definitely a huge help.
Yeah, I think that's a really important distinction, having like saying that you're going to study with somebody who's going to facilitate the things that you want to learn, you know what I mean? And not push you into that box. And that's really cool that that's the experience that you had at CMU, because I can definitely tell that it feels like listening to your music. It's like, okay, this motherfucker's trained. But yeah, but it's not like that overbearing classical, and there's some musicians that I listen to and it's pop music, but they sound like a classical singer singing pop. And I'm like, it's like you to me sound like you are doing everything that your opera instructor told you to do and nothing else.
Does not fit the music.
Yeah. It doesn't fit the music.
I know plenty of people that have done the same. Yeah. It's hard to break out of for a lot of people that, they learn how to sing through choir and then they, I mean, I've had people over the years send me their music. Hey man, like, tell me what you think. Like, what should I do? And like, the first thing I'll say to a lot of them is like, you stop trying to sing so perfect. Like, your choir teacher told you to sing in choir. Like, you sing like yourself. Like, sing how you talk. Like, sing how you want your voice to sound. But a lot of people, like, it's that to them, the way they're singing is correct because that's how they were taught to sing. So, I mean, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But if you're gonna discover your own voice, it can be a detriment, I guess, if you're going solely off of choral training.
Yeah, that for me, and that translates, excuse me, I feel like so well to like every instrument.
Does it? Okay.
It's because I mean the way that you approach everything is it's in the classical world. It feels like it's very similar. If you're trying to play, Petrushka, you work on this. You know what I mean? That's all it is. And in reality, it is your job to listen to music and figure out what the hell you want to sound like. If you are learning music by someone telling you what's good and what's not, then how are you ever going to be able to say what you think is good? Say the things that you mean. Like you fucking can't. Like it's
right.
And that's what I wish somebody would have told me that when I was like, I don't know, 14 years old, just a couple years into playing trumpet. And somebody would have said, because when you're young and you're learning, you don't know. You're like, I'm going to take any information that I can to get better.
For sure.
And it seems like in academia, so often, I'm not going to say across the board, but so often it's here's what you want to do. Here's what you have to do if you want to be good. And if you don't do this stuff, then you're not going to be good. you're not going to make money, and you're fucked. so so it's like it's so
Yeah,
wild, I feel like it's such an important lesson for young people and really anyone trying to pursue a career in music to learn. It's
it
like,
really is. Did you studied trumpet, I'm guessing?
I studied. Oh, got my baby right here. What's up?
Nice, nice.
Got my baby right here.
Got my baby right here.
I used to play trumpet back in high school. And
Rad.
my band teacher, did you meet Justin Hammis, Andy? Was he still there when you were there?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because so he taught me in high school, and then he taught at CMU for a couple years, but he might have left before you got there.
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah, he was always trying to get me to play trumpet. I don't know. Side note, there's no like point to that story. But
Yeah, trumpet sucks, dude.
oh, man, like I like loved it, and like I grew up playing. My dad played trumpet in college, and like so it was always around. But I mean, I just knew I wanted to do the kind of music I was doing. So yeah, for a little time, I was like, I'm gonna be a trumpet soloist someday, and I just like I guess lost interest in it. But
Dude, me too. Me too. And I still have some interest in doing that, but not on like the classical side.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
there was this guy. I think he's still at Peabody. No, I think he might be at Arizona now. His name's Joe Bergstaller. He's the trumpet prop there. He's a world-renowned solo trumpet player. It's like his career is like fucking traveling around the world playing trumpet solos.
being a badass.
And yeah, just being a badass. And he came to CMU and he did a clinic with the trumpet studio, and then he played a concert. And that concert still, I mean, that performance changed the direction of my life. Like, and hearing this guy talk about how one of his big things is how every concert he plays completely memorized, because he doesn't want there to be a physical barrier in between the audience and him. And that, for me as a classical trumpet player, I was like, holy shit, he's right. He's right. And I always knew that classical music was not necessarily the music that I wanted to play, but I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and hearing him and hearing him talk about it. I mean, it didn't get me all the way there, but it got me steps closer to figuring out, what do I want? What do I want to do?
That also like that like fuses like it's a musical performance still, it's like you don't see the Red Hot Chili Peppers live and they have like music stands,
right?
You know what I mean? So it's like, why should I go see this trumpet player and then they just have a music stand? Like, is that okay? Like, that's not like, if I'm like a regular Joe Schmo just to go see a concert, I don't want to see a music stand.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting because there's so many. We can go into this for a while.
Yeah, I think it's just different between classical and non-classical music. Like, it's just a different world. Because like I remember thinking how weird it was. Like, wait, it's just like the norm. People use sheet music in classical, but don't otherwise. It's not like people in classical music necessarily need it. Like, they played the song so many times. But I mean, I don't know. I suppose there's more complex things when you're part of a big ensemble and you need to hit everything exactly perfect, and like you have a conductor telling you what to do. Like in pop music, there's no conductor necessarily. There's a click track sometimes, but that's
yeah. I don't know. I feel like for classical music, it is oftentimes a detriment, especially at the lower levels, because it's like we're teaching younger kids to play what they see and not play what they hear. And so you're teaching them from a young age not to listen to the people that are around them, not to listen to how the song actually goes, but count your 4 measures of rest and come in. You know what I mean? And so
that's a good point.
I don't know. That's purely from my own experience. There's going to be a ton of people out there who can, debunk the shit out of what I just said, but that's like my personal opinion. And I think whenever you're learning a song, maybe you use the sheet music at first and then you can get off the page, that opens up your ears and opens up your mind to everything else that's happening around you, and really allows you to understand the music from a completely different level and from such a deeper place,
Right.
Yeah, we could definitely talk about this for a long time. I've obviously got some sour feelings.
You got some
I've got some beef.
Yeah,
No,
but Ben, like specifically your experience, I think that's super important for higher ed to kind of look at, is not necessarily changing the person to fit a specific sound, but like massaging the person into their own sound using a good technique, you know. And I feel like that's what creates longevity in musicians, specifically vocalists.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, like if you you know, if you sing with bad technique, that could, you know, your career gets sliced in half, it seems like.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
the fact that you're also like trained in that way provides you longevity, which is awesome.
And hey, I'm not immune to that stuff either. There's been plenty of times where I've sang with bad habits and my voice has suffered from it. So
Right.
There's plenty of times like, Dr. Stoner wouldn't be pleased right now. I guess at some level, I know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do you like have like specific warm-ups that you do before you go into like a session or a live event, or do you just?
No, not really. It's pretty informal at this point. I probably did a while ago, but I mean, I'll do, you know, the stereotypical warm-ups that any singer does, I guess. But like, yeah. No, I mean, I mostly don't. Like, I'll sing the songs quieter early in the day as like a practice run or something. But shoot, I haven't played a show in so long now. Saw this that I don't even remember.
Dude, I feel you on that one, man. Wow.
7 months.
I played a show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. How was it?
It was great.
Yeah, like being able to play to people again.
Yeah, it was really odd. It was like a social distance concert.
Okay.
And so like it was like drive-in. So but people were like outside of their cars and like sitting in chairs and like dancing outside of their cars and everything. Yeah, it was a cool vibe. And the guys that I was playing it with, they're awesome dudes. I've known them for, I don't know, probably 5 fucking years now.
Yeah.
Time flies, but they're awesome dudes. It was a really, really fun gig. It's just it's full of anxiety, honestly. You know what I mean? Because like any person that comes up to you, you're like, yeah, get away from me.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I had a tour that got canceled this spring. That was a bummer. But
oh my goodness, where were you going?
It's mostly Midwest stuff. I was like, you know, up through Chicago, Detroit, Ohio, a little down to Atlanta. But yeah, so that was, I haven't played since February, I think was the last time I played. And just like,
oh my gosh.
I mean, I've been obviously keeping busy recording. Like, luckily, that, you know, you can social distance and still make music. So I've been writing this album, and doing all that.
Yeah. So what's the process of that in quarantine? Are you still like in the studio with other people, or? So
I'm a pretty DIY guy in general. I have one other guy, Matt Giroux, who I produce with, but he's pretty much the only person that I've worked with on this whole album. Like I'm the only person in Nashville that doesn't co-write. Like that's a big thing about here, is that like everyone is always writing together. And like for whatever reason, I think I'm gonna get back into it more after this album's done. But like for this album, I'm very much like everything I'm writing, I want it to be just my voice. So I've been just, you know, writing everything by myself. You know, I record all my own vocals. I have a little studio at my house, and then I work, like the only other person that I see is this guy Matt Giroux, who I'll go to his studio and we'll, you know, produce the tracks together, do like the mixing and stuff. But yeah, as far as like the actual process of making music, it's not really any different than it was for me before quarantine, because I mostly do everything by myself anyway.
Yeah,
I was kind of lucky there, I guess.
Well, that's so one thing we were like listening to, like even the covers that you were with just you and the keyboard, and we're like, man, the mixing, it just sounds really good. Like your production is really good.
I will say, I remember being on a podcast maybe like last year or something, but like I was asked, you know, what's the one thing that you recommend to somebody who wants to get started? It's like, learn how to record yourself. And you might suck at first, but like it's such a good skill to have, especially if you just like stick with it and keep doing it. Because I'm at the point now where like I can record my vocal as good, like I think better than anybody. Like I don't let other people record my vocals for my original stuff, because it's like I know how I want it to sound. I've got it down. And so if you can learn how to record and, you know, mix, like you don't have to become an expert mix engineer, but it certainly doesn't hurt to like become good at it. And
fluent.
Yeah, it opens up so many possibilities. It also saves you a ton of money if you're just trying to get started out and you don't have a lot of money to spend on recordings. Because like all those YouTube songs, obviously, when I was making zero money, I was able to do them myself, and I didn't have to try to like, you know, get into a studio for a discount rate and have some guy who didn't care about the music do it quickly. So yeah, a little side note, that's like the thing that I always tell people to do when they're getting started.
Yeah.
How much does knowing the recording side influence how you write the song? Because I can imagine that I feel like you'd think about certain parts that you want to bring out in the mix, and like a little thing that you're like, that'd be really nice if it was just way back in the mix.
Yeah, it definitely does a little. I never really thought about that, but I mean, for sure, when I'm writing something and I'm thinking like, oh yeah, when I do this vocal, I'm going to do it this way with like, you know, a send on the, you know, a delay that's going to be panned over here or something. Like I'm definitely thinking about that kind of stuff. And I think it actually can work against you sometimes, because when you actually record it, it doesn't sound like that. But you have this idea in your head that it was supposed to sound like, so you're trying to chase that as opposed to just like do what's best for the song.
Yeah,
right. There's pros and cons, I guess. But as far as creatively, like yeah, I'm always thinking about that kind of stuff. Like I pretty much a lot of times will be producing like in my mind when I'm coming up with something. Like it's, you know, if I'm coming up with a song from scratch, I can hear a lot of times how I want the instrumental to go in my head. And it's like, you know, how do I put, you know, these, I know what kind of instruments I want. I know where I want them mixed. I know what frequencies they're going to be and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And that's it. Writing the song is just like step one, it seems.
Yeah.
And then like putting it into the mix. And then like what you were just saying, Ben, like the little nuances, that's what makes the appeal, and that's what makes the uniqueness of every tune, is like the vision behind the production, you know?
Yeah.
100%.
It's like putting a painting, you know, you have a canvas and then you put like, you start outlining the face or whatever, but then it's just like the tiny little nuances, which is what creates the artist.
100%.
So
yeah, man, the devil's in the details always. There was this I have this buddy who moved out to LA, I don't know, probably a year and a half ago. He's a producer, and I remember when we were in college, he showed me this tune that he was working on. It was called Grocery Shopping.
Yeah.
And he had like 3 times in the song he put like the little like whoosh of the register coming out, and I was like, oh dude, that's so good. Like it literally sounds like you're grocery shopping with a fat ass beat behind it. Like it's the details, you know what I mean?
Such a small little thing, but it makes, you know, the song and brings it to life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it Charlie Puth? He talks about little things that he does is like every verse and every chorus, he'll add maybe 1 or 2 instruments. Like the second time he plays the chorus, he'll add like a clave part or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's what just pushes the tune. And you might even like, as a regular listener, like average Joe Schmo, you don't necessarily, you can't point out, oh man, he added the clave pattern, you know, but you could just, there's something subconsciously
feel it
that you connect with that's different, you know. I know for me, like I spent a lot of this quarantine working on production too, just like figuring out how to mic up drums, figuring out how to do all of that. And it's painstaking, but it's also so much fun.
Yeah.
Like you know, you have your sound with like how you play, but then you also have your sound with how you produce.
For sure. 100%.
That's so cool.
Well, it's just such, I feel like when you're really learning how to use some of these softwares that are out there, you know, whether it be Logic or GarageBand or whatever, when you're learning how to use these, like you're learning another instrument, you know what I mean? Like it opens up your horizons so much. I know it's done that for me, just like starting to dabble in that kind of stuff. Cause usually in my past, I've just been the kind of guy that's like, all right, I'm in the studio. Let's go. We're going to play some stuff. Cool, my stuff's done, I'm out. You know, like that's like how you know, with my percussion playing before and with my trumpet playing, it's like we're going in, we're going to record this part, and that's it. And but like now through quarantine, trying to work on some of that stuff, it's opened up my whole world to think of all the little nuance, and it's like Andy was saying, it's painstaking, but it's so cool once you finally have that product. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's the it makes all the work worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's like that with so many different things in life. Like for me, I've in quarantine again recently found the passion for like building things and just like building physical things and
Yeah.
planting a garden or just doing
Oh,
the
wow,
stuff.
look
And
at you,
like
adult.
I find I feel like everything that I do, it's like while I'm doing it, I'm like, fuck, why did I decide to do this? And then once it's done, I'm like, oh dude, saw, bro. Like this room was one of them. This room used to be like red as the devil's butthole.
Yeah, it's nice. Like,
yeah, thanks, dude. I'm really happy with it. I've never tried anything like geometric like it, and I was like, let's go.
yeah, you painted that? Like,
I painted it, yeah, just a couple weeks ago.
That's
Wow.
why it looks terrible.
Wow, Andy. Wow.
Just kidding.
dude, I've been trying to get I want to paint this wall that's behind me like a maroon color, I think. I just haven't sucked it up and like done it, but I don't know why. I've had plenty of time during quarantine.
I like that fireplace, man.
Probably because it's
very homely.
Yeah, no, seriously, from what I can see of your home, it's very, very nice.
Thank you. I like my little Pikachu in the back. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, he was hidden.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
I think my grandma got that for me like a while ago.
So
like 6 months ago.
Do you own your home?
I do, yeah.
Dude, that's like a sign that you made it. Especially as a musician, being like, "Nah, dude, I'm a homeowner."
I'm a homeowner.
That's huge. That's
yeah,
huge.
well, it makes it so I can put up acoustic foam paneling in there and not worry about the landlord getting pissed at me.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge.
My neighbors are surprisingly super chill. Like they can never hear me. They said they can hear like me playing piano sometimes, but they can't hear me like singing. And like I record vocals at like 3 a.m.
Wow.
So the fact that they can't hear me, or maybe they're just lying. Maybe they just don't want to embarrass me because they know it's not awful. When I sing the same part over and over again for a while.
They're just laying in bed like,
you.
fuck.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna share a couple things right now. Just some things that we've noticed on your social media that we would love to chat with you about.
Grab that claw.
Grab another claw.
You stress.
Grab the claw.
Camel.
Yeah. So we noticed you've gone to some very exotic places.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. What the hell?
Yeah. Can you tell us about this a little bit?
Yeah, man. So this was a opportunity because of Nerd Out. We got invited to perform at this like video game festival like tournament over there in Cairo, and we had like a big fan base in Egypt for whatever reason.
Wow.
So cool.
Yeah, so they flew us in. We got to perform for all these kids that knew the words of our songs. They all like lined up for autographs. They wanted us to like sign their foreheads and like random stuff like that.
Oh wow.
It was definitely the most I've ever felt like a celebrity. So that was fun. It was
so cool.
And then obviously we got to do the whole Egypt experience, see the pyramids. We got to like quad bike around the desert a little bit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time.
What a unique experience.
Yeah. So how much would you say trips like that is like you working, doing the music thing, and you actually getting to go and enjoy the place?
It was, let's see, probably like 50-50. I'd say like they did a good, I mean, they specifically, like, I guess instead of paying us like, a ton of money, they're like, no, we'll just give you this sweet vacation because it's Egypt and how often you get to go to Egypt. And we're like, okay, sounds fair.
Yeah.
So, I think like the actual festival, the last time we were there, I've actually done it twice now, which is kind of crazy, but
that's awesome.
The same people invited us back 2 years in a row. The last time we did, I think it was like a 3-day thing. So we did a couple performances and like did meet and greets and stuff during the actual event. And then the next like 5 days, they let us go to, and it wasn't like 3 days or something. We got to go to like a resort on the Red Sea and like So they took care of us. It was super cool. Yeah, I mean, I probably 50-50 work and play, but overall, just like, such a cool experience. Even the work stuff is still like I'm performing in front of people in another country who like my music. So that's
right.
Yeah.
That's surreal in itself.
Yeah. And it's crazy that this all happened from YouTube. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's a different world, man. It's a different world than it used to be.
We were watching the one song that you did for, what is it, the name of that video game? Five Nights at Freddy's?
Oh man, that's because if you type in Ben Schuller, that's the first thing that comes up.
It's because it's got millions of views. First of all, I'd never even like heard of that.
I hadn't either.
Video game, but the song is dope. I love the song. And
go ahead.
How did you like get into that in specific?
I'm assuming you're talking about Need This Feeling.
Yeah.
That was just a song that was on my album in like 2014.
Oh wow.
Some kid like ripped it and uploaded it with a video from that game like a year later, and it like went super viral. It had like 50 million views, and like, but he was just like a kid. He stole the animation from it too. So eventually the guy who animated the video was like, "You're using this without my permission." He got it taken down.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, so like I was actually pretty bummed. I was like, whoa, like that was really cool, like whatever. But the fact that the fan base, had already watched it so many times, they just started uploading more videos with that song. So now at this point, there's like another 1 to 3 videos with that song in it that get uploaded every day to YouTube. Like it's just like at this point, it's all. If you type in "Need This Feeling," it'll just be random kids like uploading whatever clip of their favorite video game with this song. I think it's random as hell. But I'm not going to complain about it. That's for sure.
No.
That's so rad.
I remember when that happened, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That blew up.
Bizarre. It's super. Like, never would have. Like, I didn't know what Five Nights at Freddy was either.
It's a good. I mean, I dug the song. I had no idea what that video game was.
Yeah, it's
freaked me out. It was freaky though.
Yeah, it's like these animatronic robots that like kill children, but I don't know why. It's one of those games that just has a cult following. Like it's not that big of a game. It's one of those like really quick like horror games. Like remember like Slender Man?
Oh yeah.
It's that. It's like a jump scare game where you play for like, a couple times with your friends. But for some reason this game has all this backstory and this lore behind it that like there's these channels with millions of subscribers that literally only upload content based on these games. It's like theories behind the characters and like what they're going to do next. And like the guy just made a random Slenderman type video game. He didn't mean for all this, but it just is some crazy thing.
God, I hate those games, dude. The jump at you games. I cannot, dude. Even like Halo 2, when that came out in the flood, like I was like, like
jump scare games. Yeah, Halo 2. Worst jump scare.
I couldn't even handle that, man.
That's awesome.
Dude, let's be real. Halo franchise for the win. Like Halo was legit. I definitely got an Xbox 360 like a month ago. And the first game that I bought was Halo 3.
Nice. Aren't there like 7 now? Like how many Halos are there now?
I don't think so. I think there's like, as far as the numbers go, I think there's only 4. But then there's a mid game between 3 and 4. It's called Halo 3 ODST. So I think there's really only 5. I couldn't say for certain though. I know they like launched a shit ton of books and like movies and TV shows and all this shit.
Yeah.
But hey, they're capitalizing on it. Like they made a dope game.
Yeah. I haven't played that since I was in high school probably, but
yeah, I definitely can't say the same.
I definitely played it today earlier.
I definitely fucking did.
You're not playing Among Us like the rest of the internet right now?
Among Us.
You don't know what that is?
No.
Oh, that's the new Fortnite. That's the it's the new game that's like, I mean, I'm well aware of it because of Nerd Out, and we're doing content, we're making songs based around it. But yeah, that's the new thing that's like taken over everything. I don't know. I'm surprised you hadn't heard of it.
Among Us, huh? I think I might have heard of that before.
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna have to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how. It's on the computer. I don't know if it's like. I think you just buy it for like $10 on Steam or something. But I'm not really sure.
I don't know, man. The last video game I played was Crash Bandicoot. So
yeah.
What's that?
Are you serious, Zach?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
You
come
don't
on.
know Crash Bandicoot?
That was like
Crash?
our childhood.
That was our
Crash.
childhood, man.
I guess I'm
That was
showing
like in
my
the
age
same
here.
like world as like Mario and Sonic. Like it was one of those kind of games.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
dude.
What was it called? Smash Bandicoot?
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash.
Dude, are you trolling us right now?
No, I swear
Okay.
on my life, dude.
He's
I
totally
swear.
trolling.
I swear.
Zach's good at trolling, so that's why I was asking.
No, Andy's just so gullible. Like you
No,
could literally say
okay, maybe a
fucking
little.
anything to him. and
Yeah.
he'd believe
Well,
it.
no, you can say anything to me and I'll believe it because you're a good troller.
I'm a good troller. I'm a good broy. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like not a huge gamer, but games were a huge part of my life when I was younger and growing up in my transformative years. Playing
that's
games,
why I don't understand why you don't know Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, same.
That was like
Well,
we're in the same generation.
How old were you when that game was huge?
That game has been huge for years.
Is it still huge?
They just came out with the trilogy.
Oh
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm just surprised you hadn't heard. Like I don't even think I've ever played it, but like you just know what it is.
Right.
He knows what it is.
Yeah, I have zero clues. Like the first game that I really got into was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Oh wow.
And then I was a first person shooter kind of dude.
Maybe you did miss that boat then.
Yeah, you missed that boat by a while, man.
Yeah, I was
Call of Duty 4.
Yeah, when Call of Duty 4 came out, I
Jesus.
was in like 7th grade, I think.
What
Oh
year
my
was
God.
That was 2007, I want to
2015.
say. 2015. I was in
7th grade.
I'm 12 years old.
Oh my God, like that
I'm
scene from
12.
Benchwarmers. Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I am 12, written in crayon. Oh my God. Oh my God.
All right, well, I got another one here.
Let's see it.
Oh man. Yep, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you went, this is in Aruba.
This is Aruba, yeah.
So you guys went there and shot a music video.
Yeah, so this guy named Cleo, who I randomly met online because he remixed some of my covers and we started working together. We made an original song that came out of my album in 2017. And we had always talked about doing a music video for it. Obviously Aruba's sweet, so I was like, I want to go to Aruba at some point. And he was kind of just starting out. That was his first ever original song. So he has all this talent, but didn't really have any. He never really made any videos. He didn't, and I came from this world where that's all I did. So I was like, all right, man, let's like do this. So yeah, I went down to Aruba for a week. He happened to be friends with a director who's like doing big things now over in Netherlands. Like he's like a big Dutch director now. But so he like gave us like a discounted rate to make this music video down in Aruba, and spent the week just like going to all these amazing locations with like these models and doing all this, crazy video stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so wild, man. It's just, I think it breaks people's brains when you're like, no, this all happened because of the internet, especially like our parents' generation. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I feel like so many people are still in that mindset where it's like, you got to get a job. Here's how you're going to be successful. But you are proof that there's other ways,
Mm-hmm.
That's
Definitely,
so awesome.
Did not take that route for sure.
Yeah, that's so cool. So being in the world of like online music, how do you go about getting your followers from one platform to engage with your content on other platforms?
It's hard. There's definitely that's like a work in progress, at all times. It's like trying to, there's obviously a lot of crossover. A lot of people who follow me on Instagram subscribe to me on YouTube. They follow me on Spotify, but there's definitely people that found me on one, and it's like, well, okay, I just released a new music video, so like definitely go check it out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have an answer to that question. You kind of just, try to do the best you can at being engaging and making people want to, invest their time into you and not just like passively watch some of your content. And if you can find dedicated fans that are going to, really support what you're doing, then they will follow you, no matter where you're putting out content.
Yeah. That's good advice. I feel like that's a plague of social media, is trying to get the most followers that you possibly can, and not focusing on the quality of the followers. Like, if these people are genuinely invested in what you're doing, right?
I've been guilty of that for sure, especially like, I could say I haven't done a cover in a long time, because like when I was really like hitting them hard and I was like promoting the hell out of them on Instagram, like I was building up this following for these covers, and like I was wondering, like, are these people going to care about the music that I actually care about? And like there's definitely, like, I've lost like a lot of those followers that came specifically for like a cover that blew up. They probably don't care about the original music that I'm doing right now. So it's kind of like, in the last year and a half, I've really decided, okay, well, if I'm going to, get to where I want to go someday, I have to really make sure that I'm, getting the type of followers that I want, that people that are going to be invested in me, and not just like, oh, here's a fun cover of a Justin Bieber song that I like. Because there's a lot of those people are just there passively, and they're not going to, fully support your music.
Yeah.
That's something, I haven't thought about. It's like the quality, or the people who are actually following you. Are they following you for this specific reason or this specific reason? And what reason would you want that to be? I think that's so important for musicians
to think about all the time.
That's so important.
Yeah.
And then, they say there's no such thing as bad publicity. So like putting out covers is like,
yeah, they say that. I don't know if that's true though.
Right. Yeah. And that's what we fall into. It's like, when we put out covers, do we like, it's very easy to fall into that. I'm just a cover artist now, and then that's like a majority of your following. And then when you try to put out like a new song, it's like it's a crazy balance.
We had like, I could relate the same thing to Nerd Out. So like I said, we make content that's, songs that are for all these different nerd culture things. But when Fortnite became this huge phenomenon, I don't know if you guys have ever played Fortnite. I'm sure you know what it is though. Yeah,
definitely played Fortnite.
Yeah, so we made like a rap battle where we featured a bunch of the biggest like video game players, like Ninja and like all these guys who have these multi-million like people followings on Twitch and stuff. And this video for us did so well that we were like, it was transcending the rest of our songs, and we were bringing in all these new followers. And so at the time, it's like, this is great, because we're getting all these new fans. But a lot of those fans were there for not necessarily for our music. They were there because of that one video. So like it's easy to look back and think like, a lot of those fans that came, like, are they actually hurting us now because they're not engaged in our stuff? So they're just empty numbers. Like, it just looks like we have, like that extra, if 500,000 followers came from that video, are those 500,000 like wasted followers? Like, I don't know. Like they could be just like hurting us in the algorithm, because that's another thing you always got to think about, is YouTube's scientific formula that's going to put you in front of other people to show your music to. So it's always there's no right answer. You never really know. It's trial and error, and it's a new world we're all living in.
And that's the thing though. It's like the trial part, just doing it. That's something that that's such a common topic that we've done a bunch of interviews, and that's a common topic that everybody talks about. It's like, you just got to put out the stuff. You just got to do it,
For sure.
Zach, what is the saying?
Oh, done is perfect.
Done is perfect. Just get it done.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've been thinking, I don't remember who I was talking about this with. I hope it wasn't the last time we recorded a podcast. I'm about to tell the same fucking story again. But
it's all good, dude. We can edit it out.
Yeah.
We had just talked about like how we're not going to edit anything anymore.
Well, I mean, just like in this format, it takes so much fucking time, because each of these is like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
It's like, and we've done 2 in a week before, and it's like, holy fuck, that's like 12 hours of editing that I have to do.
What did you try to get them down to? Like, what did you, like, how long?
Well, it's really not like a how long number. It's like okay, did we get all the stupid shit out? That's like really what it is.
The very beginning where it's like we got Ben. It's like, yeah, we were hammered at that party. Like,
no, that's if
by
it's
the way,
about
this is
Andy,
Ben.
it's staying in.
Yeah,
it's staying in.
It's about me being hammered at a college party.
That should be your new intro. It's just like that, like when Andy was hammered.
When Andy was hammered. That's the name of the podcast, actually. How'd you know?
Dude, that could be an awesome other podcast. Let's be real.
I got some stories. Actually,
I think we all have some stories at this point. Let's be real,
dude.
So anyway, what the fuck was I talking about?
We were talking about Done is Perfect.
Oh yeah, Done is Perfect. So
yeah.
No, like recently I was in my car the other day. I was like driving to go get groceries, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, what is the point of life? And not
that's
from
the
like
deepest question you can ask yourself.
But not like a like, holy shit, man, what is consciousness? Not like that, but like literally, what is the point of me being here? You know, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to do?
What's the point of your life?
Yeah, what's the point of my life? You know what I mean? And the conclusion that I came up with was it's so simple. And for me, it felt like the point of my life is to do shit. Right. And when I say that, everybody's like, oh, well, fucking duh. But it's like, how often do we find ourselves just like, instead of doing this thing that we want to do, we go and watch Netflix.
Right.
Or, you know, and we don't spend enough time actually doing the things that we want to do. Like there's only so many hours in the day, right? But we could definitely be more productive for those hours and get the shit that we needed to get done and still do things that we wanted to do. You know what I mean? And that's, I feel like I personally have been over the last couple of years have foregone a lot of the shit that I wanted to do because I was doing things that I had to do. And I didn't set aside enough time, or I was like, man, I'm tired. I just got home from work and I just want to watch some Netflix and chill out. And I always find whenever I'm in those modes in my life, I get really, really like depressed, you know, and I'm not doing. I'm living to work and not working to live. And that's such an important thing. And then I just think doing things is everything. There's an art to doing things, you know. There's an art to doing things.
I'll add to that. There's an art to doing things that you truly care about.
Yeah.
It kind of goes along with like the Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
You know, Kobe Bryant. It's like if you RIP, man. But if you want something, you're gonna put the work in, right? It's like what do you truly care about, you know? And are you gonna put in the work in to do that? Are you gonna stand out by how much work you put in, right? So
yeah. Well, it's also like how much work you put in, but like how much just energy do you put in? You know, that doesn't necessarily have to be like physical work, but I feel like the amount of mental energy you put in, you could be laying there and imagining exactly the way that you want this thing to sound, or exactly the way that next time you get up on stage, when this song happens, this is what I'm going to feel. This is what I'm going to go for. And that is so much of, I feel like what we do, you know what I mean? As musicians, getting up on stage saying like, this is me. This is my craft. This is my passion. This is my work. This is my everything is here, you know? Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah,
man.
Beautiful shit.
Beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, man.
It's the most beautiful thing.
All right. Well, Ben Schuller, thank you so much for being a part of this, man. Again, for everybody, Ben Schuller, check him out on Instagram. What's your Instagram name again?
Hey, Ben Schuller.
Hey, Ben Schuller. He's got the tiny little blue check. Check him out on YouTube. He's got quite the YouTube following. He just came out with a new EP, which we have come to find out is going to become an album. Check him out. Are you on all platforms or just
every one of them?
Every one of them. So check it out. Be Somebody Else, Chapter 4. It's ethereal, it's beautiful, it's hip hop, it's everything. So check it out. Thank you so much for being a part of this, Ben.
Thanks for having me, man. It's good to see you again. It's been a minute.
It's good to see you too, man. I was talking to Zach too. I was like, man, I haven't seen Ben in a long time. I fucking miss that guy. I miss the hangs that we had. I miss the music we played.
Yeah, he's saying that now. He was actually like, God, that fucking Ben Schuller.
That's exactly.
We play the
God, he's just hot, and I just fucking hate him.
Yeah, well,
it's like Mean Girls. Mean Girls. It's like Mean Boys.
Mean Boys. That should be the name of this podcast, right?
Mean Boys.
Mean Boys. Because on Wednesdays we wear blue. Yeah, Ben. Well, thank you so much, man. It's been an absolute joy.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun. Absolutely.